sitting on that. It looks too nice. This Q&A session is not my problem. Good night, everybody. Let's see which section has the lamest questions. Go ahead and start. Somebody raise your hand though, that helps. Yeah, microphone slows things down. And there's no guarantee of it being a decent question. Raise your hand, I'll pick it. Yeah, right over here. Yeah, no, not, everyone looks behind them.
What's with the love of buttery Chardonnay?
What's with the love of buttery Chardonnay? What are you referring to, sir? What obscure reference are you making?
You may call it out in a film or a TV show.
I think I may have liked buttery Chardonnays at one point. But I don't really anymore. Tastes change. Do you like buttery Chardonnays, sir? What, do you enjoy any adult beverages? What do you enjoy? A nice Guinness. Yeah, the homeless people are the healthiest. It's true, they get the most nutrition. They find him in the alley, roll him over. Oh, he's okay, he's been drinking Guinness. So good luck to you with that, sir. Yes, right over here in this section.
What is your favorite souvenir or something you've taken home from the movies?
My favorite souvenir. I'm not that sentimental though, ma'am. My brother has a shotgun from Evil Dead. Not because he gives a shit about movies, he just likes guns. I have weird stuff from Sundown, A Vampire in Retreat. Yeah, nice try. Nice try. That film wasn't released and escaped. Van Helsing's holy water dripper thing. It's like a cologne bottle. It's very ornate, and I was like, I'm gonna just steal it. Interestingly, from Evil Dead 2, we used Polaroids back in those days, which are technically original photographs. Each one of them is its own negative. Those disappeared in the last 2 weeks of filming Evil Dead 2. We had a ring of these, hundreds of them. So, if any one of you sons of bitches shows up with a Polaroid, Evil Dead 2, you better run. So some of the coolest things disappeared, usually the last 2 weeks of filming. Let's try this section, yes.
So we all heard the chainsaw in the trailer.
You all heard the chainsaw in what trailers?
What's going on with Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat. Hey, you heard it. I didn't. Ash just have to be toyed with. We teased him a little bit recently, but he's going to get his own game that'll be out in about a year. So the Evil Dead game, voiced by Ash, by me, the real thing is coming. So don't get me wrong with Mortal Kombat, blah, blah, blah. Yes. How was it to work with Macho Man Randy Savage?
Yeah.
What a good question.
First, give me an idea of what you think it would be like. What do you think he's like? Just as a guy, not when he's what's he like? He's just scary when they're scratching, isn't he? Oh, that's yeah. Yeah, that's basically him. We shared a trailer during Spider-Man. We were in the same thing together. And his girlfriend came to visit. Sir, the trailer walls are very thin. And the springs are very weak. So here's me working with Macho Man and Savage. Jesus Christ, man, give it a rest.
Bone and bone saw.
So, sir, that's what it's like. You He's a horny little bastard. Yes. Yes, he's dead, thank you. Yes. Why do you think I told the story? I'm going to tell that later. Live. Hey, Bruce, tell stories. Bones on the ridge. Yeah, sure. Let's return to our program. Yes.
What was your favorite role in the Spider-Man trilogy?
A favorite role in the Spider-Man trilogy? We can do a quick review if you'd like. The first one, they want me to introduce him as the human spider, which I think sucks. So, because I introduce him as the Amazing Spider-Man, in the first Spider-Man, I named Spider-Man. Second Spider-Man, I played the snooty usher, what some people would consider a cameo, as though we're insignificant. But in this case, Peter Parker wants to see his girlfriend Mary Jane and play on Broadway for the first time. But he's late coming to the show. I won't let him in, because it'll ruin the illusion. Technically, sir, I'm the only character who's ever defeated Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3, the French Major D, Spider-Man comes to me, a mortal, for help. How often do superheroes come to mortals for help? Marriage and very personal things. Never, sir. The seventh of never is when they do that. Did I help him out? Not really, because he was kind of a D-bag to me in the first two movies. I like Tobey Maguire. The first movie, oh, hi, you're a friend of Sam's. Oh, okay, cool, whatever. The second movie, why are you back? I'm like, what do you care, man? Take the check. Spider-Man 3, he's like, oh, I get it. We can't make a Spider-Man movie without Bruce Campbell. I said, Toby, you're starting to get with the program. Yeah, Sam would throw lines out just before we would film. Just about to kiss Sheila in Army of Darkness. She smacks me in the stables and goes running away, and I grab her, throw her hair down and grab her, and I'm just going to kiss her, right? We can't find Sam anywhere. Where's Sam? We're ready to go. He's giggling over in the corner. We're like, hey, we're ready to go. He comes over and he goes, I know what you're going to say. I'm like, I don't say anything. I just kiss her. He goes, no. Whenever it gets really nerdy like that, I know to be very afraid. He goes, you're going to say, give me some sugar, baby. That's the stupidest line I ever heard. He goes, you're going to say it. You say that when I'm a director. I'll break you. He pulled that rank shit all the time. Like the director, you can't. No. I'm the director. Thank you, Frankenstein's bride. That's right here.
I was reading it just...
Some people stand up to that. You were reading If Chins Could Kill.
That you started acting in local theater.
I started acting in local theater.
Would you consider getting back on stage and doing theater?
Would I consider getting back on stage and doing theater? They don't pay shit in theater. And you can't call cut if something screws up. You gotta keep going. Last play I did was called Shane in Xenia, Ohio. Yeah, oh, yeah, you saw it. You're the one, yeah. That's the last time I did theater. That's a pain in the ass. It was hot as hell. How many? 20 years ago. You're getting old, man. Where are we going with that? Did we wrap that up? Yes, right here. If what happens? Cars 4. I didn't know there was a Cars 3. Ron Bedline is dead, man. Dead. Nobody else knew either. Yes. What do I think of the what? The Oldsmobile from The Evil Dead, Sam Raimi's personal car. Delta 88, 1973. Yeah. Piece of shit. The real question really is what happened in that car. What happened in that car? He's got to put that car now in every single movie he's ever made. And he's made westerns. Where was it in Quick and the Dead? He had it stripped onto a chassis and built a wagon, a covered wagon over the top of it. What happened in that car? It was the first of many things I think happened in that car. So I've been trying to kill it for decades. He will never tell me where it is. It's currently somewhere in Michigan in an undisclosed location with Dick Cheney. So that's that car. Stupid car. We drove around in high school in that car. He put it on a shipping container for Ash vs. Evil Dead to go to the Southern Hemisphere. Can't find any other piece of shit in the other hemisphere? No, it's gotta be the classic. He calls it the classic. No, it has to be the classic. You can ask him about it someday. His fetish with the 73 Chevy. Okay, you weren't asking a question, you were itching yourself.
I heard you have a little drainage you need every morning, you know, you've got to drain the thing.
You heard of a drainage every morning? Sir, you're confusing me with my character, and you're a sick man. They have help for that, yes. Interested in playing Briscoe again. Sort of what if. It's, it was only 25 years ago that show was on here for one season, so everyone knock on the old door. Hey!
But it's great, and I think people are rediscovering it.
People are rediscovering it.
DVD.
Good. Rediscovering it, I guess, is better than never discovering it. Do you know, when people hear, they watch the show now, they go, I didn't know you guys used the Olympics theme song for your show. I'm like, no, dude. The Olympics stole our theme song. You watch. It's the NBC Olympics, for God's sake. It's just wrong on so many levels. Yes, in the back.
What's your favorite episode of Jack of all trades to film?
My favorite episode of Jack of all trades to film. When you say favorites, it's very dangerous. We don't usually have fun when we work. That's kind of a shock to you, I know, because you think actors are carried around on pillows. In between being serviced by concubines, you know? It doesn't really work like that. Normally we show up, we do work 12, 14-hour day, and, sometimes we have a good time, most of the times we don't. Because these things are very difficult. Try and put your head up a cadaver's ass for a week. That was my favorite episode. Someone was like, what was that like? Like, what do you think it was like? Basically, it was like doing the real thing. Yes?
Do you currently have a favorite TV show or new film that has come out?
TV show, do I have a favorite TV show? I'm starting Chernobyl. Because apparently it's like ridiculously amazing. Television, my first television was Knots Landing in 1987. In 1987, old alcoholic actors went to television, and actors who had never had a job ever before went to television. That's who was on television during the Knots Landing era. Photography was the crappiest you've ever seen. 3 shadows on everyone's face. It's hard to do that. It's hard to like someone that poorly. But they figured it out. And 30 years later, television is the only place to be. It's the best stuff, the best footage, best photography, best actors. You know, 10 years ago, actors wouldn't touch television still. I like television. People watch television. People watch a lot more television than movies, that's for sure. Yes.
Do you have,
Yeah.
do you have a dream role you would want to play?
A dream world, that's dangerous too, because then you're in a what-if world. I try to live in this world. The what-if world just gets you depressed. Why isn't Martin Scorsese calling me? Let me say a little something about the Irishman. He was ragging on Marvel movies, right? Martin Scorsese, one of our greatest filmmakers. So when he says stuff like that, it hurts. Because not like those movies are easy to make. And it's not like The Irishman doesn't have digital effects on the ass. Watch the movie. They have more digital effects than any Marvel movie, I can tell you right now. To get Robert De Niro to go from 9 to 108, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of digital work. So he's kind of full of crap in that respect. Every movie is just as fake as the other one. Nothing is real. Guess what? You think a real story about Aaron Brockovich? That's not even what Aaron Brockovich looks like. It's not a real story, even though they say it's a real story. So nobody gets to play, I'm a filmmaker, you make silly Marvel movies. No, they're all bullshit. Every single bit of every movie is bullshit. They're just people shooting, it's all as fake as you can get. It's a series of still images. It's not a single motion. The actors don't even make up the dialogue at the time. The dialogue isn't coming from their mouth, it's coming from speakers. And by the way, in movies and television, where does the music come from?
Post-production.
What is that all about? Where does it come from? So don't tell me movies are real. In real life, I don't hear a score. So let's not kid ourselves, Monty. Yes.
Do you have any older creature that influenced you in your career?
Any older
Creature or monster that influenced you growing up?
monster that influenced me? I didn't like monster movies. They were scary. I saw The Beast with 5 Fingers. It was a black and white movie, just his hand crawling around. Oh no way. No way. That's scary. I like listening to the Carpenters. I need music that makes me feel like everything's okay. I have lavender on my property in Oregon. I'm not who you think I am. Yes. Ash versus Evil Dead. Thank you for not saying Stan versus Evil. The third end of the second. Are we analyzing the show that's been canceled?
If there was any other direction that the third season was maybe going to go, if you were part of any other story ideas or anything that you had a favorite out of those.
I'm just glad how we wrapped it up. Because here's the truth. We knew by the end of the second season that our ratings were such that no one knew what Stars was or how to get it. I'm telling you the absolute truth. Bruce, what are you up to? Man, I've been working on Stars for 2 years. What's that? Well, you can download the app and try that. When it dropped on Netflix, people thought, oh my God, what a great new show on Netflix. We were the #1 pirated show. Thanks, thank you. Thank you, millennials. Who asked that stupid question? Okay, so we're back analyzing the story. No. So look, we knew that we were in trouble. Because Stars was in trouble. And we thought, some shows get canceled in the middle of the season, and you never get to wrap it up, and it's unfair for the cast members, the writers, the fans too, because the fans will blame it on us. Why'd you guys stop? They didn't stop. They canceled in the off season. Oh, you got sick of the show. That's what you did. Yes, that's what I did. They don't understand the power that we don't have. So we thought, okay, season 3. We think this show's going down the shitter. So let's go big. Let's wreck the town. Let's burn it down. And Ash is going to the future with a hot robot chick to fight people in the future. So he's defeated in the past and the present and the future. He's fulfilled his legacy. The only thing that would happen in season 4 is you get all the way through, fight the badass Mother Scratcher, and die passing the mantle on to like some hot chick. That's all that would happen. Because he's fulfilled his prophecy, technically. So you're welcome. And so people were they're not happy with that. They wanted one more season, one more movie. But, television was the only place we could do unrated. That is an unrated, you got 15 hours of unrated television. No other show is going to let you put your hero up a cadaver's butt with his dingleberry sticking right in his face. With a Prince Albert person through it, I might add. Try that, basic king. Yes. Yes, sir, you're the only one holding up your chainsaw.
Is there anything else that you can tell us about the Evil Dead video game that's coming out?
Anything I can tell you about the Evil Dead video game? It's PC based, which I think most people are happy about. So that's the extent of it, sir. Here's the thing: they keep kicking these games down the road because they're about to launch, and then somebody does some crazy stuff, and then I go, and they have to go back and sometimes retool the game to be current. Platforms I've done in Shark Boy was a game I did the entire game, days, weeks, and weeks of voiceover. By the time we were done, the platform had been completely outmoded. Never saw the light of day. I'm like, wow, that was fast. So it's gonna happen. Yes?
What is your favorite buffet food item?
My favorite buffet food item. The only problem with buffets is I very often I'll go into a buffet, get my tray, go and eat and leave without paying. That's my whole life as an actor during lunch. Load up the buffet and then you leave. Buffet item? They're all kind of gross, aren't they? All-time buffet. It's a bit much. What's yours, sir? I'm sorry, I don't want to rain on your buffet parade. Like, are you going to go to one later tonight? Sometimes you gotta eat. Yeah, but you don't gotta eat that. What is your favorite buffet item?
Usually they're crawfish.
Crawfish. But it's really fresh and oil-free. You know that oil's gone now. Yep, just that salt water just bones it away. Thank you for your question. Yes, over here.
You said it was like hard work, because you have to act, you have to do all these things, and it's a job. It's really hard work. But I was curious if you have memories of a really fun time you had in a role that you did, like just.
Well, the fun is now. Honestly, the fun is now. Because it is work. We show up and look, I'm a jackass and I'm a really smart ass guy and I make a lot of silly comments, but I do take my work really seriously. Most of the time on film set, I am not crapping around because we're doing very complicated stuff. It's like a dance. So now is when you have the fun with it. I've been touring with Army of Darkness, and there's really nothing more fun than going out and bullshitting with an audience, showing the movie, and then telling them all the ridiculous stories about the movie that they just saw. And so that's my reward, is later. Because when you make a movie, you have to get most of it out of the set. Like working with Sam Raimi, it doesn't matter how difficult it is. I'll do it with him any day of the week. because he's basically one of the top directors in the business, and basically the top director I've ever worked with. So guys like that, I'll show up in a second, because it makes the experience special. And look, you know when you're doing as an actor, you know when you're being shooting, you go, well, that was a stinker. You know, you work on some shows and you stand around like this, blah, 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 they shoot your face, they shoot close-ups of people all day long, and nothing happens. Working on a Sam Raimi movie, man, every cylinder is firing because he's coming at you 87 different ways. And that's what's challenging. Challenging is good, ultimately. Because then when it's done, 30 years later, you can go, man, I'm glad we did that. Even though it sucked hard ass when you were doing it. Yes? We'll get there, yeah. Go for it.
I'm so sorry. What did you think of, or whatever happened to the original Evil Dead and the remake Evil Dead crossover that was allegedly going?
Whatever happened to the Evil Dead crossover remake?
Yeah. Like then.
Nothing happened. There was talk of bringing old Ash in again, you know, hooking him up with Mia, so that we'd have the young badass and the old geezer, you know, giving her tips. But that's all right. We're going to make an Evil Dead movie, though. We're producing a new one. There's still plenty of stories to be told about heroes who are unqualified. So we have Sam Raimi's handpicked a new writer-director to create a thing. He's done a new story that we're going to get involved in and shoot it and hopefully scare your little brains off. Yes?
Do you have any stories about working with Lee Majors?
Lee Majors is spectacular. Lee Majors played my dad on Ash vs. Evil Dead. He's a flawed hero. No, he brags a lot, but he doesn't try and be Gorgon from Zordon. He's from Michigan. Now, what's with all the Ash does have torn stuff, but whenever I see the ladies being Ash, there's a lot more torn shit on these clothes. I have nothing to do with any of that. I'm not discouraging it in any way either. I see a lot of these photo shoots of these chicks, like, in the woods, doing, you know, like sexy ass photos covered in blood. I'm like, is there a deal being made? What's happening? Anyway, sorry, what was your question? Well, when you make a movie, you never know what's going to happen. We didn't know that people would laugh at the first Evil Dead. To us, it was melodrama. Way to go out, Mary Shelley. You can't bury Shelley, she's a friend of ours. Like, I can't say that line now. So you don't know. We thought we were making a serious horror movie. It just happens that way. And you never know who's going to succeed in future generations. Fortunately, people are accepting of Ash being the doofus hero, that I think when the dads in the audience watch that, they go, yeah, I can totally do that too. And I think this is why they pass it along to their sons. Because they go, see son, there's someone just like your father. Opposing, womanizing, loser, cheater joke. Who's doing mescaline like season 2? That was my favorite. Smoking mescaline, like doing circles after Pablo died. Yeah, it's you want to play that part. That's the part you want to play. Not Batman. It's the car. Chicks dig the car. What do you say about Campbell after he does that? Great, Val. Nailed it. He's the weirdest Batman. None of them could piss in that suit. You want that part? But you got a big ass bladder. All right, let's do one last amazing question that will solve all of the world's problems. Yes.
Okay, in Army of Darkness, there's that sequence where you're constantly fighting skeletons.
Army of Darkness, constantly fighting skeletons. The reason why we got an NC-17, that we're talking skeletons.
Yes.
Guys, we got an NC-17 for Army of Darkness that we had to fight. Same year, Goodfellas comes out. Opening scene, Goodfellas. The fuck was that? Car pulls over, Joe Pesci gets out, opens the trunk. There's a guy who's been horribly maimed. He's tied against his will. Can't do anything to defend himself. Joe Pesci takes a knife. You fucking guy starts stabbing him. Swearing at him while he's killing him. That's an R rating. Fuck you, ratings board. That's because Martin Scorsese does real movies. So, we asked the ratings board, hey, what should be cut? It's the cumulative effect. What a crockery answer. You gotta tell us. So I think we ended up 4 exploding skeletons. We're like, this is a lot less scary now. Welcome to show business. Yes. So sorry.
The question was, there's that sequence where you're fighting them, and you're coming up with new ways to take them out, and they just keep shoving them at you. Was that as exhausting for you as it was for me to watch?
Wait, which sequence?
Episode, you're fighting them, and they just keep coming, and you're finding new ways to take them out.
You talking about the end sequence of that movie or what?
I think it was kind of in the middle. It's like they were just
All the tiny ashes you're talking about? No. The entire movie was exhausting, man. Let's just make a blanket statement there. Yeah, that was a great movie to be in the rearview mirror. But again, a movie that's easy to make is hard to watch. Work with that. Think about that. So before we go, I want to thank you all for showing up because I guess they moved this from Orlando. All the chain restaurants in the world are in Orlando. Every single one. Take a rock.
Chili's.
That's fine. Thank you for coming to Tampa. Thank you for putting my children through college that they later dropped out of.